content over everything.
No, we'll do it probably next time.
I understand. So Ifa is what?
You already know who he is.
Of course. It's derived from the Yoruba
Of
Nigeria. And one of the reasons why it's most popular is because it's the most preserved as far as Africans in the Americas. We brought that over to the Americas.
Hey, Tiger, get in there.
There's variations.
Go in the camera.
Yeah, there's variations of it in the Americas as well. He's just asking around the question. We're not even filming. It's just
Okay, we're not filming.
No, you can. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, alright, so swim for a little while. Why not?
Yeah. So Ifa. Oh, you want to come on camera?
So it is filming.
It's 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So what do they believe in?
Just to clarify, because we're taking the camera, the brother was asking me about African spirituality and what it is. So I was explaining that African spirituality is an umbrella terminology for the indigenous spiritual traditions of the African continent, of African people. Yeah? And so you asked me for an example of one.
Yeah,
So
like
I'm saying probably the most popular is Ifa, which is the indigenous spiritual system of the Yoruba people. Yeah. But why it's one of the most popular is because it's the most preserved as far as Africans in the Americas are concerned. Yeah. So if you hear about things like Santeria and Candomblé in places like Brazil and Cuba, these are all derivations of the Ifa spiritual system. Yeah. So Ifa, in short, you have the overall deity, yeah, the Most High Supreme Being, yeah, which might be referred to as Olodumare, yeah, and then Olodumare presides over creation through the forces of creation, and the forces of creation are given expression through various different names and principles, yeah. So in Ifa tradition, the forces of creation are referred to as the Orisha, yeah? And these are principles that represent forces in nature. So for example, some of the most popular, yeah, are Shango, yeah, who represents thunder and fire and these kinds of principles. And along with that, the Orisha Shango will also have personality traits and principles that relate to him and his character, if that makes sense. Yeah. Then you would have Oya, which is representative of air. Yeah.
So just go back. So the personality traits is actually of thunder. When you say
so if you look at thunder, so because he represents thunder, his personality traits will be likened unto these kinds of things.
Exactly.
But as well, there are stories associated with Shango. So sometimes one thing that they say happens is that a particularly significant ancestor, or the story of a particularly significant ancestor, is personified through that particular Orisha, because there are lessons from that ancestor that need to be preserved, for posterity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that will happen as well. So I was on Oya, who represents air. You know what I'm saying? And so there are principles associated with air. You know what I'm saying? The ability to be flexible, the fact that air is essential to life. But you mess with it, but being able to change direction.
So can I say they are archetypes? Use the word.
You can say that.
Yeah.
You can say that. Yeah. So archetypes but the whole point is that African spiritual traditions are inherently nature-based. So it's about our relationship with nature and how we relate to nature and maintaining a balance within ourselves and how we relate to nature.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'll add one more element, which is the idea of ancestor veneration. Yeah, which is the fact that we are born of our ancestral line. Yeah, and because we're dealing with cultures or spiritual systems that develop in community, maintaining cohesion within the community was also essential. So it was essential for the younger generations to remember their older generations. And so various forms of ancestor veneration were developed as a result of that, for the purpose of elevating ancestors and preserving the wisdom from ancestors.
So when you say remembering them,
yes,
in what sense? Just remember that they existed? Remember
Yeah. But it's given a spiritual component. So using Ifa as an example again, ancestors are the Egun. Yeah, Egun is ancestors. Then you have Egun Gun, which is the realm of the ancestors. So the ancestors are seen as a dynamic force within the life of the people. You know what I'm saying? So you open an occasion, you give praises to the ancestors. You what I'm saying? Because they pass down the knowledge and the you know what I'm saying, them kind of things there. And on a spiritual level, because it's said that spirit never dies, or consciousness, is ever existing in the universe. Therefore, we relate to our ancestors on that level as well.
Who? The Ifa people?
Yes. But not just the Ifa people, but yes. But my point is that ancestors are considered to be a consciousness. Do you know what I'm saying?
I completely vibe with that.
Right,
That's
yeah.
why I
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in honouring the ancestors, you're communing with their consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
How old roughly is this particular?
So the Yoruba, if it's impossible to say, the Yoruba people, I can't remember the date where you can say that the Yoruba people came about. Yeah, it's something like, I'd say in my head that the 600 BC is in my head. Yeah, but I could be off on that. Yeah. So, but it's a so-called AD as far as the specificity of the Yoruba people. But we're dealing with a spiritual system that is older than the people itself, the people group itself. The people, the Yoruba people, have actually codified, though, the most preserved, you know.
But what you're saying is not dissimilar to many sort of Hindu.
Yeah, I'd agree.
religions,
I'd agree.
and also shamanic.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah.
Especially what you said about when you sort of opening a space or doing a ceremony.
Yes.
Sort of respecting the ancestors.
Yes.
before you open the thing.
Yes.
Which there's a lot of love in that, and I respect that. And I think that's beautiful.
Yes.
So I've always been, because I don't know much about, I'll be honest, like
Yes.
African spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always said that there must be like some deep knowledge
Yes.
in Africa
Yes.
that I don't know about.
Yes.
Because obviously, like, quite frankly, Indian spirituality, like when you think of spirituality, you think of
India and China,
Indian, like
yeah.
chakras.
Yeah.
But even people who are talking about Kemet will say chakras.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah.
Right, that's
yeah.
Indian.
Yep,
thing,
yep.
the chakra world. And what you're saying is actually very similar to what they say. So I'm wondering. It doesn't matter too much to me who came first. It really doesn't.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, just out of interest.
Yes.
Like how old sort of Africa.
Yeah. So
you know what I'm trying to say?
So there's two things where that is concerned. There are many people that say that what develops into Hinduism is a kind of distillation of the spiritual tradition of the original people that they refer to as Dravidians who were there, right? And what Hinduism did is merge some of the stuff what they were dealing with the caste system, right, and the kind of things there. But those original people are said to have come from the Nile Valley, Africa, and traveled
dark-skinned
there.
people?
Yeah, very black people, right? And a lot of them, if they have preserved some oral history to suggest that they actually do come from Africa. Yeah, that's point number one. Point number two, so-called anthropologically speaking, there's a relationship between the traditional spiritual systems of the Nile Valley and Kemet with the spiritual traditions of many other parts of Africa, but I'm dealing with West Africa. So if we were to look at the relationship between the system of the Necha, which is Kemet, and the system of the Orisha, which is Ifa, there's a lot of relationship, you know what I'm saying, and similarities between those things. So I definitely say that it was definitely in Africa before it was in India. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not particularly informed on the history of Hinduism, so I don't know when it came.
Well, they say it's talking thousands
of years, you know what I'm saying?
5, 6,
you know what I'm saying? Which the Yoruba would say similar. It's just that they, as a people, they come into being at a particular point in history. But their traditions,
on the people,
on the tradition. You know what I'm saying? So so in Ifa, the principal prophet or codifier of the system is named Orunmila. They consider him to be prophet, and it is said that Orunmila basically came and brought a new codification for what was already existing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So but yeah, I'd agree with you. The whole Shaka thing in Kemet is a big debate at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a big debate at the moment among people that deal with Kemet.
You seem to have a good idea of the cultural identity of the Africans.
Say again?
You know how you have a good idea of the cultural identity of the Africans and how you could maybe possibly solve the problems?
Yeah.
What are you kind of like set up a new group, like say yourself as the leader and then just go full motion?
How do you know I'm not doing that?
Huh?
How do you know that I'm not doing that?
Well,
I might not be the leader, but how do you know I'm not part of a group that's full motion at the moment?
But you're not marketing yourself good enough.
I'm not marketing myself at all.
So maybe you should. Maybe you should be.
It's possible. And my interest right now is not to necessarily market myself, it's to exchange ideas.
Is there any disadvantage to doing that? At least you
What, marketing myself? And there are environments in which I market myself.
Like the chap said earlier, like he used the N-word to describe a certain group who get much more better publicity because they are very loud, right?
No, it's not because they're very loud. It's because they're employed by the system.
But do you think there is a way to combat that by you
Definitely, and man is certainly combating that. Part of me being here is combating that.
Yeah, but Speaker's Corner is a relatively small.
It is relatively, it is, but my activity is not confined to Speaker's Corner. And everything that I might be saying or involved in is not necessarily going to be publicised at Speaker's Corner.
But if you were to say, like, set up a new group, point yourself as the leader, be very loud.
I don't need to appoint myself as the
You
leader.
don't think that would work?
Put it this way, I'm part of groups, and whether we're loud or not, we'll be told, you know what I'm saying, in the flow of history. We'll see how it goes.
Do you think there is a risk that you'd be shut down?
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
On what grounds? One would think it would be
On the grounds of the fact that the world seems to be scared of the empowered African.
So even in the UK, people would...
Oh, definitely, especially in the UK. Especially in the UK.
You've had experiences of this? Or...
Of course.
Really?
Of course. But outside of personal experience, history bears it to be the case.
Okay, going back to what we were saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's all right, that's all right.
Yes, sir.
So I wondered if the thoughts came to me now. Maybe I needed that pause.
Yeah, go on.
Because in Hinduism, it's not actually religion.
Yes.
But, you know,
I know what you mean, yeah. We're speaking English.
No, it's another umbrella.
No,
term.
yeah.
There's a concept of Brahman,
Yes.
which basically means there is only Brahman.
Yes.
You are Brahman, I'm Brahman. There's only Brahman,
Yes.
only reality.
Yes.
It's the ultimate reality,
Yes.
and we are all that.
Yes.
Is there something like that in Africa?
That would be the ideal of the creator in every African spiritual tradition that I have come across. Yeah, and there's variations. And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the most dominant spiritual concept is exactly that. Yeah, that all is the creator and the creator is all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you give it, so there is no man in the sky necessarily, although you might find traditions whereby they give expression to, they personify.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, mind has to.
Right, you know what I'm
That's
saying,
fine.
right? You know what I'm saying? So that has to, but the actual concept itself is to bring all of creation. It's a life force. You know what I'm saying? And that life force is exemplified in a consciousness that is given a name that is the creator. But so for example, but in Ifa, Olodumare is the creator, but then Ashe is the name for actual life force. Yeah?
Yeah.
I believe there's something similar in.
Yeah, so in similar, you can tell her.
I know a little bit because I'm a kinetic yoga instructor.
Oh,
so we've studied different things. Yeah. So
Okay.
you know what I'm saying. So
You
yeah.
talk about chakras, is it ironically?
No, not necessarily. So 'cause in my practice, but I do it deliberately. There are Kemetic yoga teachers that do talk about chakras. I deliberately steer away from that because I'm trying to bring a different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, like, there's the again, there's different frames of mind
Yes.
within the Indian
Yes.
system
Yes.
of what Shiva is.
Right.
But one of them is Shiva is everything,
Right. Yeah.
and Shakti.
Yes.
So Shakti is the manifest world,
Yes.
and Shiva is the backdrop of.
Yes.
You follow me?
Yes.
Is there something like that?
Yeah, so I'm forgetting the terminology at the moment, so forgive me. But there is a terminology for in Yoruba. I don't speak Yoruba fluently, yeah, and I shouldn't, yeah. But
It's all right, man.
Yeah. But there's a terminology for the physical world, and there's a terminology for the immaterial, the material and the immaterial. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, for me, like, no one owns spirituality. Like,
Yeah.
you can't own it.
I'd agree.
It's beyond.
I'd agree.
It's in, you could say, nature if you wish
Yes.
to. So it doesn't surprise
No, I'd agree.
me
Yes.
that many different cultures around the world
That's
are saying
it.
the same thing with
That's
different
it.
language.
That's it. The reason why, because people challenge the terminology African spirituality
Yeah.
for a number of different reasons. Yeah. But the reason why I and people like myself use it is well, firstly because we understand that the spiritual traditions of Africa have been demonized, yeah, significantly, in ways that the spiritual traditions of other people have not been demonized. So the Christian, the Muslim, the Jew will look at Hinduism and they might consider it pagan, but there's a particular kind of demonization and association with concepts like the devil that happens with African spiritual traditions that I don't think happens with other people's spiritual traditions. Yeah,
not as much.
Yeah,
the church would say like, for example, Kundalini energy is evil.
Right. I'd agree with that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, there's many Christians who meditate.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And these kinds of things. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, and to me, that's partly because places like India and China have asserted themselves in the world and developed a position of respectability. You know what I'm saying? And so we use African spirituality because we're not just dealing with just Ifa or just Vudan or just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the various spiritual traditions are, we're dealing with them as an umbrella because because we realize that oftentimes we're dealing with different expressions of a similar essence or the same essence. You know what I'm saying? And two because there's political power in that unified identity. But the third thing is we're specifying and particularizing the African expression of spirituality.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? For African people. Because I'm going to argue that when it comes to these things here, like I find that there's a lot of African people, for example, that are dealing with Buddhism or Hinduism and know nothing about African spirituality.
That's me. That's what I'm coming to you.
And I respect that. But it's also because some of us, and I'd say that even with some of us people that say that they are from African spirituality, they consider the Hindu or the Buddhist as a superior version of spiritual consciousness.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That exists. So people like myself, when we say African spirituality, we're sometimes we're making a point.
Yeah, I can see you're making a point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get me? Like, you know what I'm saying? We're affirming something.
I'm seeing you, man.
You know what I mean? And so yeah. So
but that's why, because like when I got into the spiritual thing, it's like, bro, like I said to someone else, pretty much when you think spirituality, you think of the Indian sort of angle at it. Whether it's a chakra system, whether it's Ganesh, whether it's blah blah blah, right? Meditation, for example.
Yes.
Not that they own it, but
yeah.
But clearly I have African roots, right?
Yes.
So I would like to know.
I didn't guess it. I wasn't sure. You know what I mean?
Allegedly, right? So I'd like to know, when I'm giving out love to this world.
Yes.
Because I speak about this all the time. One was speaking about consciousness.
Yes.
Oneness, etc.
Yes.
And there's many different ways to speak about it.
Yes.
The Hindu isn't the only way.
Yes.
The what's the other one I'm thinking of? The pagan Europeans, not the shamans. They're not the only way.
Yes.
But I don't know any African way to say oneness, to say emptiness is form and form is emptiness.
I hear you.
These type of deep things.
I hear you.
Which, quite frankly, is true.
I hear you. And if I was
sure there must be Africans who understand the truth of reality.
There are, yes. And if I was more fluent in African languages, which is something that I'm working on, I'd be able to give you more definitive answers. What I can say right now to that question, what I can say at the moment, because we're all learning, what I can say at the moment is in ancient Kemet, the term would be ma'at.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So I thought you might have heard of ma'at. So ma'at is an expression of that oneness and balance and these kinds of things in the universe. You know what I'm saying? And so the principle of ma'at is about the balance of the universe. The connected nature of the universe, and these kinds of things.
And that's Be'od.
Enough old, right?
Yeah.
What's it called? And so I'm struggling because there are terminologies that I have come across that are not coming to my head at the moment. At the same time, I can say, for example, like whereas I say Ashe, is life force energy. Yeah.
Ashe.
Yeah, just Ashe. Yeah, Ashe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's actually Nigerian. So
are you Yoruba? You can help me to think about it.
I didn't bring you into it. We spoke earlier. Yeah.
I'm there explaining it. And there's a Yoruba man standing right next to you. You know what I mean?
He's all cussing you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. He's saying it wrong. He's pronouncing it wrong. And it's possible. If I pronounce anything wrong, feel free to correct me.
So say again, no?
Sorry?
Their life energy
is Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay, so that's another word now I can use when I'm speaking about.
Right. Yeah.
this
But
thing.
so life force energy because there is life in everything. So Ashe represents that as well. But also because Ashe is a phrase that is said at the end of prayers as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
So not only is it life force energy, and I'm glad about my Yoruba is confirming what I'm saying right now. Yeah. But because it is life force energy, it is also the principle of will, like bringing things, the power of, when we say this, it is done. The energy of bringing things into existence or making things happen. You say Ashe, you're bringing forth, right? So at the end of it, we say this, we say a prayer, we say Ashe, because we are affirming the fact that what we have just spoken about will be brought into manifestation.
It's like in shamanism, I've done every single spiritual system, apart from Africa.
Which is not unusual. It's
very
common.
There's nowhere to find it. I've been through the shamanism, the Wicca, the
right.
all of it.
Yes.
Until I got to understand what I have now.
Yes.
Which might get into it, but anyway.
Yes.
So like what you're saying, the whole affirming thing, so shamans.
Yes.
Right. So
you know
as well, yeah. So shamans will say aho.
Yeah.
So at the end of might be doing you were speaking your truth.
Yes.
Whoever that is speaking truth.
Yes.
At the end you be like aho.
Right.
So you're saying Ashe.
Yes.
Is similar.
Similar, yes.
And say in like Wicca, they would say blessed be.
Right.
At the end of their thing.
Right.
So that's and African,
Yes, sir.
Yoruba one.
Yoruba, yeah. I mean, the Yoruba. I mean, even till today, I spoke to my auntie yesterday on WhatsApp. She was like, "All your kids are gonna have good health, long life."
Right.
But they say it in a Christian way.
Yes.
But it's actually they're wired already that
Into
way
that
in the
vibe.
African.
Yes.
It's already they
yes.
express their Christianity through their Africanness, and that Africanness is what you're talking about.
Yes.
That you will have good health.
Yes.
You would have a lot of money.
Yes.
You say Ashe,
Yes.
or you say Amen now.
Yes.
Amen now,
Yes,
but
yes,
actually it's Ashe.
Yes.
That kind of way of expressing.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing here that's what I came to find out.
Yes.
Because you got to be balanced, man. Like he's saying, that African spirituality is pretty much non-existent in the sort of mainstream world.
Yeah.
If someone's looking to get into spirituality,
It's just morphed, I think. I think it's just morphed.
They don't know where to
It's
look.
morphed into the Abrahamic religion. Just morphed. It's there.
I'd say among black people that
to strip it out.
If you strip it bare enough, you'll find it in it. But people that are doing it are not necessarily doing it in the consciousness of
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're more thinking they're doing it with Christianity. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I mean, their wiring and their plumbing is
because it's part of the culture.
It's African. So the Christianity expresses itself through that.
And also because the colonizer made a point of translating the Bible into indigenous languages.
Oh, do you know? I was reading about that the other day. The guy who translated the Bible into Yoruba.
Yes.
What's his name? Crowd.
Right.
Yeah, he was a slave.
Yes.
But I think he was about to get taken to the European but then I think the British intercepted that at the ship.
Yes.
And he went back onto the continent. And then he learned another language in Sierra Leone. He was from Nigeria, but because the British, they didn't really care. All they wanted to do is stop slavery.
Yes.
Stop Europeans from earning money from it. They didn't really care about the people. Yeah. So when they intercepted all the ships, they just chucked them back onto the West African coast.
Yes.
They didn't put them back to where they actually came from. Yes. So this guy was actually from Nigeria, but he ended up being Sierra Leone, and he studied over there, and eventually he basically by himself translated the whole of the Bible into Yoruba.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing because the Yoruba language is very tonal.
Very tonal.
Yeah.
That's why man.
So the same word.
Yeah, because you could have you could have the same word phonetically it's the same, but have three different meanings based on the intonation. And that's why that's why I always like it when I'm taught. Right. That's why it's always good when you have people that can teach and correct. You say certain things, and I'm learning
you could say something totally different.
Totally different. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
Like bear. I bear the word B-E with a hyphen, with a thing. So bear, so you say bear as in I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly away.
Right.
Bear means beg.
Right.
Bear. And then, so bear, and then there's another one, which means another.
It's something else. Yeah, it's mad.
Bear.
It's mad.
But I was going to say, I think I know the answer, but let me hear it anyway. Is there a African concept of reincarnation that you know of?
Yes.
I know you don't know everything.
Yeah. So I wouldn't. Yes and no. In most African spiritual traditions that I come across, the idea of ancestors returning is present. So it's like life doesn't die. It only, you know what I'm saying? It's recycled, if that makes sense.
Yes,
so I don't know if it's the same. I've never come across anything that says it's the same as in what I understand from Buddhist and Hindu tradition, whereby you might come back as an ant. Or you know what I'm saying? I've never seen that.
That's a misunderstanding, but I know in the mainstream people believe that, like I said to you earlier.
Yeah.
I know, but that's actually more in line with what it actually is.
Yeah.
Like you just said life doesn't die,
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
In the same way, like life it's a concept, of course, but everything is life.
Yes.
So everything is always happening.
Yes.
At the same so-called time.
Yes.
Time's a concept, obviously.
Yes.
So in the sense that you're not just here.
Yes.
You're not just there. I'm not just here. We are life.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appearing right now
Yes.
as an individual.
As in this form.
Right.
Yes.
So because you are life, not the body.
Yes.
Essentially speaking.
Yes.
When this body passes, you're gonna perceive through another body.
For the life, yes.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be this name Shaka.
Shaka, yes.
Shaka.
Yes. I even get your name in, bro. Sorry.
Tiger. Sorry.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've seen the name Tiger many times ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I should have introduced.
There's two tigers. Okay.
Oh.
Alright, cool.
Leon's very happy that I'm on camera.
All right.
We're trying to get him on camera. But anyway, what's it called? Yeah. So it's not that Shaka.
Yes.
There's only one Shaka.
Yes.
You're here right now. Everyone else is imitator.
Yes. Yes.
But when this passes, because you are life already.
Yes.
Life is gonna perceive for another baby.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's still you, but not Shaka.
Yes.
But you're life.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah. No, that concept exists. And in fact, there are. I've come across a number of spiritual traditions or cultures on the continent whereby there are even names, like literal names, that you give babies for that. So in Yoruba, it'll be Babatunde.
Babatunde,
Yeah, that means the father has returned. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying?
See, I got goosebumps when you said that. I love this sort of thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's that oneness, man. That's that.
I call my dad.
The eternal life that is apparent. But
I call my son Namdi, because I wanted to call him Babatunde.
Right.
But the mum is not Nigerian. She's from Grenada.
Right.
She said, no. If you go down like Lewisham High Street and you shout Babatunde.
Malaga, right?
So I said, all right. Because I wanted to call him something to do with my dad coming back to be with me.
Right.
Because I was close to my dad when he was alive.
Is it Namdi a Igbo name?
Yes.
It is? Yes. So are you both?
No, I'm Yoruba.
Okay.
So, and that caused a lot of issues.
Right.
Yeah, it caused a lot of issues.
Yeah. Interesting.
Rebel.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, because I said, you know,
like
if we're all Nigerian, Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa,
right.
well, let's walk the walk.
Right. I hear that.
Not talk the talk.
Right. I hear you.
So that's it. Yeah, because I had people calling me from Nigeria saying it's not done. We don't do that.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Nah, but Yoruba people do take the name thing very serious.
Yeah, that's true.
Very serious.
My mum will not call my son Nnamdi.
Yeah, is it? Does he have a Yoruba name?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, so going back to your thing, they do like sacrificial stuff.
Yes.
When like for instance in Nigeria, a woman has a baby and the baby dies, and has another baby and the baby dies, and has another baby and the baby dies, and it could all just be to do with like maybe just circumstances or health or whatever. They always say that baby's trying to come back, and they always try to do things to try to intercept
Yes.
this
Cycle,
issue.
Whatever stopping the baby from.
And they'll go into they'll go meet priest, and they'll go and do all the the things.
In Ifa, a priest is Babalawo.
Babalao.
Which is father of mysteries. Yeah, and then you have our priests as well, but that's the most common one. So you have female is Iyalode.
Iyalode.
Father of mysteries. So I like that.
Iya is mother. What is Lode again? Iya is mother. Iya Lode. I've forgotten what Lode is. But that's and there are other variations there.
I've got a question. Like we both agree that there's a lot of sort of looking down upon the ideal of African spirituality. It's pretty much non-existent, like you say, it's more about Indian, blah, blah, blah. In mainstream thinking.
Yes.
Except for the Dogons.
That's
there's a lot of the Dogons can see into the future.
Series B and all that.
Astrology and all this.
Now,
what about the Dogons?
Now, the Dogons get respect for their scientific achievements, not necessarily their spiritual system.
Okay.
Right? But as well, two European anthropologists whose names I'm forgetting at the moment went to among the Dogon people and studied with them for a number of years and wrote a book on it called The Pearl Fox. And so among certain circles, because so much of what they dealt with spiritually relates to modern day scientific principles, that's one of the reasons why they get it. But most people most people wouldn't know what the Dogon spiritual system is, though. You know what I'm saying, or where it's been practiced. And I know some brothers and sisters over here who are practitioners of the Dogon spiritual system. You know what I'm saying? But
you couldn't say what it is.
I'm not particularly learned in the Dogon spiritual system. I know certain things that the supreme deity is Amma. Yeah, that's the supreme all, oneness, and
I can't see it.
I know what you're talking about.
You see they got the spider there.
And where are they from? The
Dogon is
people?
Mali.
Yeah,
so
It's still
basically
there?
it's the non-Islamic tradition in Mali. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear Mali, you think Islam.
Yes, straight away. Mali, Senegal.
DJ Riza make sure he catches you on camera, brushing off your spider.
I'll be real particular about where I put my hand in. I know the cameras around.
And then that little things like they talk about the smallest kind of principle of creation being developed from what they call Po, which is akin to the atom. You know what I'm saying? And they got all kinds of concepts within the spiritual system that relate to modern day scientific ideals.
And obviously what's respected is that this is old. Before we have modern apparatus and machines and things.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Similar to obviously the pyramids lining up
Right,
stars.
How
they do that.
Right, But ask them about Neteru and the Kemetic spiritual system. Most people wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? And then obviously because most of us coming from the Bible and the Kemetic spiritual system is heavily just slandered against in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So you can respect the pyramid, but we're not dealing with no Amun Ra around here. You know what I'm saying? That kind of vibes. You know what I'm saying? So
I see. What's Amun Ra? So, I've heard of Amun Ra.
Yes.
What's Amun Ra to you?
Amun Ra. So it's
a different.
Yeah. So the Kemetu spiritual system, I'm gonna say systems, are very complex because more often than not we're dealing with, because the civilization lasted for 3,000 years. So there's evolutions and different principles come out in different times and the kind of things there. Amun Ra is the most well-known concept of the supreme deity.
Okay, this one.
So the allness,
So you just said oneness or the supreme.
Yes.
I've also heard it's the sun.
Right. It is. Right. But that's the point I'm trying to make. So my understanding is the fact that Amun Ra is a composite of two different deities from two related systems, that when the nations of people came together, they merged their deities, they unified their deities. You know what I'm saying? Now the idea that I understand it is that Amen is the unseen, Ra is the seen, and the most and so the most powerful expression of the seen in our reality is the sun.
So that goes back with what I was saying before about Shakti and Shiva.
Right.
And this is obviously
right.
older.
Yeah, that's
This is what sort of thing I'm looking for.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's my understanding of it. Yeah. So I mean, so Ra, like if you just say Ra, then we're dealing with the sun. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if we're dealing with Amen-Ra, we're dealing with more than just the sun.
More of a spiritual
Yeah.
thing.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I
because
mean?
you know you can't. No one would deny that there's the unseen.
Right.
I can't see your thoughts right now, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know they
yeah.
exist.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
There's
yeah.
unseen and the seen. So it's going to be concepts. So Amen Ra,
Yes.
to your understanding,
Yes.
means that.
That yes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you said Amen was the unseen.
That's unseen. The Ra is the seen. You know what I'm saying?
Good, man, it's good stuff.
So yeah, you study things like that. So there are a lot of in West Africa, you have like the Ewe people, who like let's say the Ewe people, the Fon people, have a related system, which is Vudan, which evolves in the Americas into what is now called Voodoo. You know what I'm saying?
But it's called
Vudan.
Done.
Yeah,
With an N.
Vudan. Yeah, with an N at the end. Yeah, VUDUN. Yeah, it's how they spell it.
Vudan.
Yeah, Vudan. But the Vudan system is also related to Ifa. You know what I'm saying? And the Ifa system in Igbo is called Afa. You know what I'm saying? So that like you can see that there's related systems around
So
this.
yeah, so voodoo is a huge one where if you
It's
think
the most
voodoo,
demonized.
straight away you're
It's
gonna
the
think
most demonized.
devil.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
songs go
Zombie,
but
Need some
voodoo doll,
negative,
yeah, witchcraft.
right.
It needs some work on the branding.
So
Yeah.
so right, like, so what can you tell me about voodoo or Vudan?
I'm still learning about Vudan.
Because you're gonna know more than me. So
Yeah. No, I'm still learning about Vudan. Vudan, what I do know, on my channel, I actually spoke to a Vudan priestess. Yeah, so check out my channel for that. But Vudan, the word itself, literally means spirit. Yeah, so but again we're dealing with the all. Yeah, life. So that's the tradition is about life. Yeah, Vudan. Similar to Ifa, you've got principles in nature that are personified. They evolve, however, because of our experience in so-called transatlantic slavery. So the names for them in West Africa might not be the names for them in the Americas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's basically a similar system. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a similar system. What I can say is that a lot of the demonization for voodoo or Vudan is born out of the role that it played in anti-slavery rebellions. Yeah.
Okay.
In the Americas, more specifically, the Haiti rebellion, because many of the leaders of the Haiti rebellion, especially at the beginning of the revolution, were known to be Vudan priests and priestesses.
Okay, makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? And so, as a result of that, European propaganda basically demonized the whole thing.
So this image that comes to my mind when I hear voodoo,
Yes.
you know, living in the West,
Yes.
I think most people,
Yes.
you know, skulls around the neck, you know, a star through a big skull in it,
Yes.
maybe worshipping spirits. Like, is
Yes.
there any truth to that? The whole skull thing? Or like, what's the skull? What the skulls about?
So I know of traditions on the continent, yeah, whereby like you don't you bury your ancestors in your house, in your compound, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
just
true.
what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
so like you know that you might use their skull might be on the grave, if that makes sense. Yeah. And there are traditions that I know of in which bones, not necessarily human bones, but bones are used for different things like divination and kind of things there. Oftentimes animal bones. A lot of what we see as far as voodoo is concerned, however, is propaganda. Yeah, I'm not going to say that there's nothing whereby you might see a bone. You know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that more often than not, when I see voodoo, we're dealing with things like flowers and herbs. You know what I'm saying? And things like honey.
Yeah,
and, you know what I'm
picture
saying?
don't come to my mind
Right,
when I hear voodoo,
right. This is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Flowers and
Right?
herbs.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's my because I've been to Vudan ceremonies.
And I know that's an issue. I know I've
Right.
been indoctrinated to think.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've been to Vudan ceremonies and I've never seen bones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is that, part
skull,
of
like,
the, is that part of the propaganda to demonize Africans as
Savage,
savage?
primitive and that kind of thing. Definitely.
You mentioned the
Definitely.
word divination, and something's come back to me. I forget where I read it, but allegedly, one of the oldest.
Sorry, I should add. Sorry, I have seen images that are pictographs, where a symbol might represent a skull or something like. You see what I'm saying? And but more often not, it's not even that. They have in Vodan the spiritual language is called veves, or veve, which is a kind of a tradition of it's like. The closest thing I can align it to is what they call sacred geometry. It's like symbols, that represent different principles in nature. That's what you see more than skull and bones and them kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I can't remember I read it, but you said divination.
Yes.
Apparently, bowling.
As in bowling.
Bowling.
Yeah.
10-pin bowling, right? I'll whack it up anyway. Apparently, that came from some African spiritual system.
Okay, this is new to me still.
In that they would paint a number on the pins, as they call them pins,
Right.
whatever the things were, and a number would represent something.
Right.
They get the ball, throw it,
Yes.
knock them down. Whichever one stays standing,
Yes.
that's your answer.
Right. Yes.
So and that sounds really feasible.
Yes.
Sounds really feasible.
Yes.
So I thought that's pretty interesting.
Yes.
It's a rich African culture. But,
I'm not sure. I'm going to look into it
I've
now
come
that you said
across
it. Now that you said it, you know what I'm saying?
There's a couple others as well. Like when we talk about divination,
Yeah.
there's loads in Africa
Yeah.
that actually have become seem to have.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one source I had. I think it was destruction of black civilization.
Right.
It was in that.
Okay. Right.
And there's some other ones too.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, okay.
The most common ones that I know of, as far as African spiritual systems are concerned, use things like cola nut and cowrie shells and these kinds of things. So in Ifa, and I'm not an expert on this side of things, the divination side of things, but it's like a binary code system. So you have what they call the Odu, which are the, like you could say, to use a New Age's terminology, like the ascended ancestors, of the spiritual tradition, and each of them have different wisdom that are associated with each. So when a priest would do a divination, the divination would relate to one of the Oduifa, and based upon whatever comes out of the divination, they would recite the wisdom of that particular Odu to the person and translate the message to them. You know what I'm saying?
I think one of the other ones was playing cards actually. In a similar way.
So that happens. That to me is a New Age thing. Yeah, it's a European New Age thing that people that come into New Ageism and maybe an African spiritual system as well, they might use cards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I've never seen cards in an indigenous setting.
Okay.
This what I'm saying, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, I see it among more like the New Age people that are starting to learn about Wicca,
cards,
right? Yeah, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, all these things. Like I said, I'm not an expert in the divination side of things. You know what I'm saying? You know, but but as well, there are people now doing studies on Ifa divination and its relationship to mathematical principles, and these kinds of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
It's proper complicated.
Yeah, it is.
It's deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of informs the. For me, anyway, it informs the Yoruba people, really. In terms of the fact that in order for them to have been able to develop such a complicated system, they must have been very successful in their own.
What system is complicated?
Ifa, the Ifa system.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
No. In fact, you're correct. Yeah. I've studied.
It's deep and it's very philosophical and very.
Yeah. No, one of the things that I've learned is that because the Europe people have a numbering system, and apparently to know you can only know that system if you are a master in certain levels of mathematics, And I've been one of my teachers is Robin Walker. He's a historian. And so he showed me the numbering system and he gave me an example of it. And basically, to say a number, you're doing calculations. You know what I'm saying? So it's different from saying 101. You're actually saying, for example, it's not a good example, but you might be saying, you're literally saying 100 plus 1. or you're saying 200 minus 99, if that makes sense. You're actually doing calculations as you're saying the numbers. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the culture in and of itself is very, it's very intellectual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know? So yeah, man. So yeah, that's why when I speak about these things, it's just about illuminating this knowledge. I'm not trying to convert nobody necessarily.
I
right? You know what I'm saying?
I've seen you talk.
Yeah, you know.
I've seen you talk before, and you always drop in the whole African spirituality thing.
Yes, sir.
But then when you drop it, and it kind of goes on.
Goes on something else. Yeah.
Everyone keeps talking about whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, let me actually ask Shaka.
I appreciate that.
What is African spirituality?
Yes.
Literally, and I'm sure you appreciate being able to speak about it.
No, yeah. It's I'm saying. I
haven't
do.
seen you been able to really let loose
Talk about it. Yeah. All right. Well, let me finish here with my brother first. Yeah. I'm neglecting you.
He wants you on Malcolm X.
All right.
on the front of him.
Okay. All right. Cool. Give me a sec.
I think most of the time I'm with you.
Okay. Most of the time. Yes. You're a wise man. Very intelligent. So yeah, it's just that. But as well, I think because people challenge the idea of a unified African spirituality because there are different systems. And as I was saying, the term is intentionally umbrella for all the reasons that I've mentioned. But there's a book called The Cultural Unity of Black Africa by Shaka Ra, and he's basically just making just outlining the shared principles of African cultures, the length and breadth of the continent, and how similar cultures developed as a result of our similar relationship with nature and these kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like politically it's important for us to understand that as well.
No, I really understand.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because obviously we were black boys once, obviously,
Yeah.
Little pygmies.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll never forget. I think it's English class.
Yeah.
And the teacher said, "Can you name some like inspirational black people,
Right.
or inventors?"
Yeah.
All we could think of was Ian Wright.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of anyone.
Anything else? Yeah.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I remember specifically we were all like, "Oh, Ian Wright."
Yeah.
And I didn't feel any way about it at the time.
Right.
But 20 years later, I'm like, it's really sad.
Yeah.
That when it comes to thinking of anything sort of like black in terms of inventors or spirituality,
yes.
nothing comes to mind.
Yes.
Ian Wright.
Yes.
Right. So I thought.
No disrespect to Ian Wright.
No disrespect to Ian Wright. Yeah, he's a legend. He's a legend. Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
But it didn't do anything to help the self-esteem of me as a young black boy.
Yes, sir.
And my black friend.
Yes, sir.
And him and her.
Yes, sir.
When all you know is Ian Wright, Michael Jackson,
Yes, sir.
Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, what do we have? Slavery.
And this is the thing, because
I knew a bit, so
Go.
I knew a little bit about, we are spiritual people too.
Right.
Christianity.
Right.
I was raised Christian.
Right.
There's a lot of us in this country.
Yeah.
Like I might have been like, whoa.
Yeah.
Quite cool.
Yeah.
Other than just being entertainers. Cool.
Nah,
Culture.
And inventors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And many inventors.
Yeah.
Many inventors.
But see, the thing is though, the two go hand in hand, so I'm not trying to separate them. But I think fundamentally, what makes the people proud, develops people's self-esteem and their pride, is not just knowing about people that come from their culture that did great things, but the fact that their culture produced things in the world, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm a fan of like kung fu movies, and not just because I like the choreography of it, but this was these people's key tool for transmitting their culture to the world and to each other. Like if you actually check the storyline of a lot of kung fu movies, they're actually teaching their history. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who none of these guys are. Or, you know what I'm saying? Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you ain't got to know a name of none of them. But when you see the culture represented, now we respect it. Yeah, we respect the tradition. Right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who the founder of Wushu or Kung Fu, we don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know who the actors are half the time. We don't know nothing about that. These are celebrities in China. We don't know who they are.
You know
but,
Bruce Lee though.
Right, we know Bruce Lee, right? You know what I'm saying? We know Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and Jet, right? That's about it. It don't go any further than that for most of us, yeah? But when we see it, we know there's prestige associated with this thing. You know what I'm saying? And that gives, so no matter where Chinese people go, that represents
They
them.
got that respect, man.
Yeah, for real.
You know what
I
I'm
ain't
saying?
gonna lie, like it's a stereotype, but if I see a Chinese person, a Japanese person, I do wonder.
No, seriously.
I do wonder if they could like.
My dad told me a
Like-
joke one time. Yeah, he said when I was in college, right, and he said one of the brothers here that he used to roll with, yeah, a real bad man, nobody don't mess with him, yeah, he top of any boy, right, and one time. Something happened between him and the Chinese boy, and he turned around and he said he was Chinese. He said, "Virgin, we don't want no trouble here." You know what I'm saying? You get me?
Dumb, innit?
Yeah,
But,
trust
like,
me.
We're watching these films.
My
like,
man, brother, everybody.
Every Chinese man can fly.
Trust me, trust me.
It's so dumb.
I was my dad said the world believes that the Chinaman can fly. You know, the world believes the Chinaman can fly. You know what I mean?
And that's the power of images, man.
Trust
And that,
me.
You know, and as we know, like someone said earlier, I can't remember anyway.
Yeah.
Like the images that is shown of black people is often of that guy said.
Yeah.
You know, I don't use it anywhere, but
Yeah.
you know, the thug type of person,
Yeah.
the ignorant person,
Yeah.
you know, calling women B words,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff, and people literally thinking that's what all black people are.
Yeah.
Actually, I said it to you earlier.
Yeah.
I wish. I wish, man. What was I gonna say? I was in Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
All places, right?
Yeah.
And little you, like, he must have been 6 years old, right? Kazakh boy. I was getting better looks, as you can imagine, in Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Right? I was like the only black person.
Yeah.
And he went, "Oh look, man, look. He's the N-word.
Wow.
He's a little kid."
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm not going to switch to the little kid.
yeah,
Because I know that's not his fault.
That's just
That's
the
the
conditioning.
right.
Yeah,
That's the
environment.
projection he's had of what a black person is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Kazakhstan. There's no black people there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So all they get it from is MTV.
Yeah.
Right?
Media.
And another black guy in a supermarket. Not black guy, sorry, Kazakh guy in a supermarket.
Yeah.
No, that one's just staring like.
Yeah.
You wait to say something.
Yeah.
I don't want to do my thing. He's waiting to say something. Because, hey, my N-word.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't say that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that particular moment, I was not feeling my to like take the stupidness.
Yeah.
Don't say it to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then like that's how he was laughing off to his boys.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't, I was getting really serious. Don't say that to me.
Yeah.
A girl, she used she's a colleague at the place I was working.
Yeah.
She used the N-word to on Instagram to describe herself. I look at me, I'm a right, and I had to tell her like, don't say that. But again, she didn't know. She's like 25.
Yeah.
She didn't know. And so I'm not gonna cuss you. If you don't, one of my things, if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know, yeah.
You can't say anything. You didn't know.
And that's
Right?
the
So
thing when it comes to this.
No, we don't actually like to be referred as that.
Yeah.
Like, don't say that.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Not a joke, yeah, fam.
And she's never done it since.
That's the thing, like on the spirituality thing. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a when I went to Ghana, like, because I've got friends in Ghana, so my friend was taking me around and he was showing me certain things, and if you're not aware, then you won't know what you're looking at. So for example, you go to Ghana, it's easy to find Christianity and Islam. Like, the white Jesus is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? For one, and then you find the mosque, you find the church, where. But if you're looking for the indigenous spiritual systems, it's very difficult to find. But I was glad that I had somebody taking me around, because I realized it's easier than you think. You just have to know what you're looking for, yeah? So my brethren, he's Ga, yeah? One of the groups in Ghana called the Ga people. I'm forgetting what the name of their spiritual system is, so forgive me. And something's in my head, but I'm not sure if I'm correct, so I'm not going to say it, yeah? But he was saying, he was showing me, like, for example, if you walk past a house and you see a tree painted white, that means it's the house of Wulome, which is the name for their priest, yeah? Wulome is the name for their priest, so it's a Wulome kind of compound, yeah? And you try to be different signs. So eventually I started to pick up the language, and you walk around, you realize, okay, they're over there or they're over here. Do you know what I'm saying? You go there and you won't know nothing, you know what I'm saying, about these things.
And sort of kind of on that sort of maintaining what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're basically saying is something is in front of your face, but you couldn't
Can't
see
see
it
it.
because you didn't have the knowledge.
Yes, didn't have the knowledge, yes.
And on speaking on a sort of spiritual level right now, that's the thing about the truth of reality. You know, like I said to you earlier, like it's right in front of you. It's here. But we think we have to go and search, go and fly to India, fly to Nigeria, fly to China, learn Natal, learn you know, trying to get somewhere. Where we already are. So there's a good lesson there. I'm sure you have the lesson already.
Yes, sir.
But just in general, of not understanding that your perspective is very limited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But if you remove that, what you're left with is truth.
Yes.
Perspective is always subjective, right? I don't know how you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a certain way. I don't know if you're seeing red how I see red.
Yes.
But without perspective, life is life, regardless. Regardless of what you believe it is, what I believe it is, what the book says it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, so when we talk about like truth, I kind of like just jumped.
I
just realised it's not really what you were saying. But
No. It makes no. You're right. It is actually what I was saying.
It's right in front of us.
It's there. You know what I'm saying? And we just got to learn the language. It's like because we are having a spiritual experience, a physical experience. There's a language associated with our experience right now, and that language is nature. You see what I'm saying? So that's why like I believe the ancestors were wise in the sense of they made the foundation of what they were developing the culture, nature itself. Like it wasn't. There's no African spiritual tradition that I know of that's going to come to you and say, here is a book. Everything that you need to know is in this book. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't exist, right? You know what I'm saying? Because
and then like, you give me the book. You tend to give me the book.
Yeah.
And then you go, say it.
Yeah.
Oh, so this means, and you say no, it doesn't mean.
Yeah.
So I have to still ask you what this means.
Right. I hear you.
It's like, why even give me the book? I'm perceiving from the book as well.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, 'cause nature's a language. Yeah. There are laws in nature. There are principles in nature. So the key thing that we learn from is nature itself. You know what I'm saying? It's nature itself.
You can't get away from it.
There's no higher teacher because the creator is not manifested in anything more explicitly and implicitly than in nature.
It's just automatically happening.
It's just there.
No one's doing it.
You know what I'm saying? It's just there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I think part of the problem that we have is kind of undoing the wiring that we have. Yeah, I'm gonna say let's say the monotheistic wiring. And again, that concept is not a concept that I think that I understand. Like what they call polytheism. If you ask the people that are practicing it. Do they have a concept of polytheism? You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, because people look at your thing and they say they're polytheists. But how would you say polytheism in Yoruba?
Polytheism.
Yeah?
Doesn't
the concept probably doesn't exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? It doesn't exist. So the idea of
superimpose their concept
on somebody else, right? You know what I'm saying? They say we are monotheistic, you are polytheistic, and monotheism is superior to polytheism.
There's this quote that I like. I might butcher it, say it wrong, but something like, "Man is the only species who worships an invisible god and destroys a visible nature."
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Not realizing the visible nature is the very god that they're seeking.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? No, serious thing, and it's undoing that wiring because you see different what they call deities manifesting as immediately you hear polytheism, and something in you because of the programming says, well, that's wrong. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we got, there can only be one. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to make, and it's right. And it's giving expression to different things, right? Because if you and funnily enough, sometimes even their spiritual tradition does a similar thing, but just in a different way. So what is the angel of death? What is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you get an angel of death? You know what I'm saying? And an angel that comes and reveals whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if I say I got it from Obatala, then it's polytheism. You know what I'm saying? Like Obatala revealed.
I think
You know what I mean?
what it comes down to really is people need to listen more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Not just assume, I
Right.
know what your thing is about.
Right.
Like you just said, Europa might believe this.
Yes.
And the Western would say, oh, that's polytheism.
Right.
But you don't have a word for it.
don't have a word for it.
Concept
The
for
concept
it.
doesn't
So
even
how
exist.
could it be from your perspective?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
But I
which
don't
is
think.
arrogant.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Europeans, when they came to Africa, tried to listen that much.
Oh, hell no.
No, they always come to this.
When they were listening.
Hell no, hell no, hell no.
I mean, even till today, if you speak to a normal English person, even someone who's well travelled, they don't
Yeah.
really know much about Africa. They know superficial stuff
Yeah.
that you get from a travel guide.
That
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
starving
yeah, yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually knowing proper Africa,
Yeah, lad.
nah, man, you won't get that. And that's
Yeah.
2019.
2019.
So I can imagine 200 years ago,
Mad.
they don't know nothing. But they write a lot about Africa to the point where Africans read about Africa
From them.
Well, that's
the
what you
right-
told me, yeah. That's what you told me about Europa. You're doing
Which
your
is an
own
interesting
thing.
point.
Yeah.
The other people know more about your land mass
Yeah.
than they do because you're just living your life. You don't really,
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I could be a troublemaker right now because what you just said relates to a lot of conversations that have been going on.
Oh yeah.
About the extent to which. Let me not go there because I'm a troublemaker. but I hear what you're saying, innit? I hear what
everyone's
you're saying.
thinking, what's he gonna say?
Yeah. Put it this way, I've been challenged on my Africanness recently.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and the extent to which I have the right to speak about African history and culture because
right.
my parents come through the Caribbean
I was gonna say because
experience.
you're not born
Oh,
there.
Yeah,
serious.
because I'm not born there.
Okay.
Yeah, so my parents are from Jamaica. And
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
So
I
that
assume
kind
you
of
mean
thing.
black people have been saying that about you.
Say again?
I assume you mean black people have been saying this to you.
Yeah, people from the continent, or a person, should I say? And
Of
people,
course-
well, I
of
say
course-
people, yeah.
Of course, you're Africans. I mean,
Yeah.
in Ghana now, there's a movement to try to get the people from the diaspora
return.
come back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in Ghana now, there are quite a lot of Americans.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard this.
A lot of Americans.
Yeah, but that's a lie, though, isn't it? Like I'm waiting for the evidence of me making this statement, innit? You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for that. But the whole point is that I was saying that in relation to what you were saying in terms of us not knowing our history.
Yeah.
And we're all learning our history from these same people, these same colonizers who wrote it for us. You know what I'm saying? And so somebody has to come down and start challenge what they're saying and
Yeah.
rewriting it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then kind of things there. And people have done
If
that.
you do that, it's you're a revisionist.
Right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know?
Yeah.
Your experience when you come across generally when you express this.
What's that, sorry? What philosophy?
We need to affirm our own, learn our own thing,
Yeah.
express ourselves from our own perspective.
Different things.
What's the backlash?
Yeah, for what we see in the park all the time, innit? Why are we focusing on black people for? Well, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff, innit? And then, no disrespect to the brother, but in terms of that people that come from a more worldly kind of spiritual perspective, they don't see the value in affirming something that is African or something that is cultural, because we're all one, innit? It's like there's a universal whole, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but basically, like, I'm in a physical experience, and so there are challenges associated with the physical experience that I have to overcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my
you can't do both. Like,
I agree.
someone,
Yeah.
I agree.
Represent their African lineage.
I agree.
And also at the same time understand all is one.
Right, you know what I'm saying? You know, all these things there. You know what I'm saying? So,
What's wrong with that?
right, so there's that as well. So, normally, like, I think, again, wiring and programming, it's like we have a knee-jerk reaction to creating problems with things that are black focused or African focused where they don't exist, because doing that endangers the current socio-economic order that we're in. Yeah. So it's like they have to develop a sensibility within us that whenever we are confronted by that idea, we reject it without even exploring it.
People don't want to rock the boat.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Because they know, and it's very serious in the sense of the fact that, like, if you get a proud African culture that values itself and its natural environment, you can't rob the resources of the continent no more. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to be developed, wired in a certain way that facilitates them continuing to be able to rob those resources. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the reality. So, like, whereas you can't, if a people have a culture that is nature-based and whereby their environment is sacred, you can't just come in there and chop down and dig up and take away. You see what I'm saying? You can't just do that. You know what I mean? Because they place spiritual value on what they on their environment like that. And when you de-sacralize or de-spiritualize your environment, you can do what the hell you want. Just objectify the earth and destroy it. You know what I'm saying? And destroy the people. You know what I'm saying? In relation to it as well. So, yeah, man. So man always get them challenges there. You know what I'm saying? That's my experience still. You get me?
And within as well.
Oh yeah, the people that challenge it most are the people.
So
Yeah,
you get the African people themselves who instinctively want to
definitely.
They just feel uncomfortable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You got and then
That's an interesting word, uncomfortable.
definitely.
Yeah, because I think a lot of black people feel uncomfortable to have come from Africa because of the because of the perception of Africa being like I said, dirty and poor and all that, which is obviously not true. It's like minimally rich, like richest place, etc. But yeah, I mean, like even as a Caribbean, like I'm sure you must experience this too. As a youth, like actually maybe not you. I don't want to speak for you. Yeah, because I can tell you got deep with the knowledge on Africa. But for me and many Caribbean boys, we were conditioned. Yeah, from Yard. We were conditioned to believe that Africans are stinky.
Yes.
Dirty.
Yes.
I used to cuss Africans.
Yes.
So, like, African batties batch. Stupid things.
Yeah.
It wasn't until a long time later I realised, whoa, what am I saying?
No,
A stupid condition I had. And I remember I was having a go at this African girl.
Yeah.
A lot of people did because she's really tall.
Yeah.
And so she just stuck out.
Yeah.
I remember she said something to me, I'll never forget. I was being ignorant, constantly never being African.
Yeah.
And she said, but you are African too. You are African too.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to say. And it hasn't left me. It's true.
And you're right. I didn't go through that phase because I had parents who told me that I'm African.
Yes, I had a feeling.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that, innit? And so because of that,
I was
like
Jamaican,
separate. I'd have been the guy challenging you for saying that to her. You know what I'm saying? That's just my but because like having those parents didn't take me out of the context of having family from the Caribbean and having to go through that, see that experience
in other people.
Right, just what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, it kind of made it more stark. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the conditioning. You know what I'm saying on that level, and as a child, it made me want to challenge it even more. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things that where man's affirming man's Africanness hard. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, and I know that my brothers and sisters are oftentimes coming from environments whereby, we've been indoctrinated into this forced savage idea of Africanness, and to reject Africa. So it's a thing where some of us don't feel that we can embrace Africa because we weren't born there. You know what I'm saying? And we're the only people that act like that. Like when did you go to school over here?
Both.
Right. Yeah. All right. Did you go to school over here as well? Did you go to school with Indians?
Yeah.
Were they Indian?
Yeah.
Did they ever deny that the fact that they were Indian? Yeah. A lot of them were born here, right? Yeah. Some of them spoke their language. Yeah. I went to school with Indians that were born here that had an Indian accent.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Right?
Same as Turkish. They were born here, had an Indian accent. Born and raised here. Indian accent. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's and I'm saying, and they spoke their language all the time, and they never had no bones about the fact that they are Indian or Pakistani or wherever it is. You know what I'm saying? And these kinds of things.
That's interesting though, isn't it? Because Indians also were colonized. So how comes the experience of the African is different from the Indian?
In my humble opinion, it's because the cultural colonization of Africa was levels above that of India. That's not to say that there was not cultural colonization in India. You go to there's an Indian historian. What's his name? Something Thur, something like that. Anyway, very good guy, like very knowledgeable about Indian history. And there's an exchange of him being challenged by another Indian who's basically trying to laud what the British brought to India, the good through colonialism. And he basically shut it down completely. But it's true to say that the British did create an elite class in India that was very Anglophile. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. So you get that sensibility, but a lot of the people that liberated India, they did so by affirming Indian culture. Like, you know what I'm saying, as an expression of independence of India. The same with China. Yeah, like they have, like Mao and them and there, they literally called it the Cultural Revolution. And it's about affirming what it means to be Chinese. Yeah? Whereas as like we independents are still affirming Westminster democracy, Christianity, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, and all these European ideals. You know what I mean? There's a good documentary also called on the history of Nigeria. That Burna Boy song, Another Story, features a snippet of it at the beginning. But the whole documentary is about, it's coming up to 2 hours long. It was created, yeah, that deals with that. But when they get to the independent, when they talk about the independence, about basically the same system still running. The same system still running, right? You know what I'm saying? Right, you know what I'm saying? And when you see it in Nigeria, like they created a region, you know better than me, called the North, yeah, where the political power was held to the disadvantage of everywhere else, and it creates friction in the entire nation. And oftentimes the political system is split as along so-called ethnic lines, but oftentimes along Christianity and Islam, right? You know what I'm saying? So because there are Christian dominated in one group and Islam dominates in another group, so there's that friction as well. But both of them look down upon the indigenous spiritual system. So the culture is never affirmed. The amount of movies that I watch here from the African diaspora, whereby casually the indigenous African spiritual system is demeaned, right? So if it's Jamaica, it's Obia, yeah. Whenever you see, there's no good reference for Obia, generally speaking, in Jamaican culture. Yeah, if it's Nollywood, it's Juju.
Right? So the bad guy always
is a Juju master.
Yeah. And the good guy is a Christian.
As a Christian, always. Yeah, always. The dynamic is there. So we're still perpetuating the demonization of our own culture.
Yeah.
And until we
You know they fucked out. All of them movies there, fam. They were street fake here. Using all them things. You get me, sir?
You're saying Nollywood. I think 9 times out of 10 in black television in general. And I was at my grandmother's house one time, and BET was just on. Yeah, people were half watching it, but it was just on for a number of hours, innit? And what you're talking about, so at one point somebody stopped and said, you know, this thing's been on for however many hours, and we haven't seen one woman, like different programs, one woman with an actual hairstyle. One. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
You get me?
That's deep.
You know what I mean?
That's deep.
When you look at India, like Bollywood and stuff, they pale themselves. They use like, I remember I saw advertisements.
They got some.
This like skin lightening, skin colour.
That's deep.
Yeah, it is. But he's right.
But it's happening.
Their white supremacy is their issues. Yeah,
colorism.
Yeah. No, but even because white supremacy exists in India, white skin preference exists in India. There's no doubt about that. But it's also part of their culture because they instituted a caste system. So even before the British colonization, they had a caste system that they were, you know what I'm saying, that they were dealing with there, which privileges white skin. So even that is a part of the people that are dominating at the moment. That's part of their thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Ethiopia, and he was telling me in their country, there were families where they had mixed. So a mother and a father will have darker child and a lighter child. And they'd always prefer or go towards notions with the lighter child. He was like to me, that's how their society was working. So I think society in general just perceived towards more lighter skin and then darker.
No, it's not society in general. These are, as far as the African experience is concerned.
You really believe that, just in general?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
You really believe there's no reasoning for that?
Of course there is, 100%.
Oh, you just said in society in general,
No,
like it's just normal.
No, even hair, like blonde hair and blue eyes is seen as something very like, you know.
But that would make sense. That would make sense.
Very preferable, very.
That would make. But if blonde hair and blue eyes is a dominant feature of your people group, it would make sense that you celebrate that. That's what I'm saying. It's different for people that do not have blonde hair and blue eyes, who celebrate blonde hair and blue eyes.
Biologically, it's
You know
not
what I'm saying?
dominant anyway. Because if I want with the blonde woman, higher chance my kids.
You're correct. It's not dominant biologically. I'm saying that there are people on the planet Earth who have a high proportion of blonde hair and blue eyes among them.
Scandinavia.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it exists. Yeah.
The more time when I see it, and somebody be watching it, and I'll see what they're watching.
Yeah.
The more time you see some scandal business.
Yeah, no, you're correct. This is
Some type of scandal.
this is an ongoing debate.
Scandal.
This is an ongoing debate. This is an ongoing debate. I'll let my Yoruba brother answer that one first.
When you say scandals, what do you mean scandal?
Like
Soap opera.
corruption. Some love triangle or something like that.
Soap opera business.
Love triangle.
Yeah.
I say the woman's fucking bare different man.
Yeah.
And then she's hiding it from her main man.
Yeah.
The way you just dropped that.
That's often. It's not wrong. That's often the storyline. It's often the storyline.
I don't want to preach it up.
Yeah.
This is why I think there's a problem as well. When we shy away from saying how things are raw.
Yeah.
Perpetuate it. Because we're too scared to speak about it in a blatant.
That's true, man. Do you know what? I was talking to my older brother exactly about the same thing. Yeah. Basically.
They're just out and bad in it.
Yeah.
But the ones who are trying to be good, they whisper.
Yeah.
And the whispers, they ain't never gonna speak loud.
That's true, man.
There's a director from Senegal called Ousmane Sambeni, yeah? And one of my favorite directors, and he was developing films in like the 1970s. So this is just after that, in the independence era, right? High quality films for that era, and addressing social political issues and that kind of stuff, innit? And so there's like a developing, at least West African film industry developing at that time. And as in my humble estimation, it was destroyed because of the continued the stronghold of France on West African economies. Yeah. So yeah, you must have heard of the sister that was fired from the AU ambassador to the America, that was fired the other day, Arikana Chimbori Kwao. You heard about that? Basically, at the moment, when the nations that were colonized by France, yeah, what's it called, got their independence, yeah, particularly in West Africa and Central Africa, France was trying to hold on to their colonial possessions. So what they did was they gave people the option to sign what they call an independence package. Or at the time they called it something about the agreement for the continuation of, I don't know if they say colonialism or something like that. Anyway.
It's President de Gaulle.
Like their version of a
President, yeah, right, huh?
Their version of a Commonwealth.
Yes, yeah, right.
So
What's it called?
They allowed them to have independence, but they still wanted that like trade relationship.
They called it independence.
They done it in Algeria as well. They said to them, yeah, they were like to them, you know what? They recognized independence, but they were like, we should still continue having a relationship and trades for the future.
They tried it. It never.
Yeah.
In fact, right. But what they were doing is basically, there's a few things about it. So at the time, those nations had to deposit 80% of their foreign reserve into the French bank. So obviously that's advantage for any nation. Also, France had first refusal on any natural resources that were found in your nation. Now today it's not 80%. It's like 65% or something like that. So collectively, African nations are giving $500 billion a year to France. Yeah, it's impossible to develop your own nation where that is concerned. So when you look at it in that context, plus the cultural deterioration, plus the neocolonization, plus the institutionalization of coups and regime change, and the killing of revolutionary leaders, it's almost impossible to develop a conscious artistic movement that is speaking to the needs of the people. I'm saying that a nation that is unable to develop infrastructure can't invest in arts, yeah, and you know what I'm saying, and technology and them kind of things there. So I feel like.
So I'm saying, but them Nollywood films, they're doing good films.
Yeah, no, now because films are easier to make nowadays. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the difference is that what a lot of the times, and I don't want to make this specific to Nollywood, black television and cinema in general tends to replicate Hollywood norms. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it does.
It's just Hollywood.
Hollywood norms. Yeah. So it's like yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the thing is that Bollywood is called Bollywood, but there's a like they're representing their own culture. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Bollywood is called Bollywood in India. I feel like it's called Bollywood in the world. I don't know if it's called Bollywood in India. Like if they have another name for it. I don't know. No, it's big. It's big.
It's the biggest, I think.
It's the biggest, yeah.
It's but per capita, I think it's got a wider and that's partly because
They think it's more getting across saying.
yeah. So I don't watch Bollywood movies and find a lot of sex scenes in them. Like when they keep it yeah. Where a sex scene might be, you see a dance routine. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's it. Go. Cause that's just their feeling culture, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? You get me?
You see the theme that man noticed that I'm highlighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, what's responsible for that? Mostly would be them imitating Hollywood.
Definitely, American television, soap operas in particular, and it's like bro, man come from yard, innit, and them thing there, yeah. You see, all them Jamaican 70s films, bro, they were replicating American Western films. Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? Read Badman and Gun and you know what I'm saying? Them kind of things there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know?
That's why I like
yeah, like, you know, it's still there.
But
Yeah?
Rockers though, when that came along,
Yeah.
that
Different thing.
was licking out
Different
against the
thing.
mafia.
Right.
That was the enemy.
Right.
The mafia on the island was the
Right.
enemy.
But
Them was licking
but
them
that
out.
came up with Rastafari. Rockers was representing Rastafari culture. Yeah, that's what it was. So the culture that film developed out of.
Shout out Oliver.
Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the culture that film developed out of was representing different principles than the rest of the films did. So I'm saying that, and so that's why I don't want to make it specific to Nollywood. I feel like we've got that issue in general because we've had people that have done some great works in terms of developing our things, but we're busy following the white man.
So then would you feel that there needs to be a grassroots culture of self-definition and real before we will see it on the screens?
Most deaf. There needs to be a grassroots, but that grassroots needs to protect itself so that it's not co-opted by the mainstream. That's what always happens. We do it on the grassroots level, and then the mainstream come and they find people that are willing to take pieces of what's going on and magnify it.
Yo,
right?
As you say that,
Yeah.
to highlight that example,
Yeah.
because now it seems like I'm throwing shade on let me say non-black people. Let me say non-black because as what I see the other day on Ellen, you know Ellen?
DeGeneres. Yeah.
She had some choreographer on there.
Yeah.
Some black woman.
Yeah.
You know the Afro dance is the thing right now.
Yeah.
So she came on there and she rang a
Little white girl. Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. That's what always happens, bro.
So this is what I'm saying. So now it seems like raw.
I haven't seen what you're talking about, but I didn't even have to see it to know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
I'm more paying attention to
Yeah.
the little white girl
Yeah.
doing her thing.
Yeah.
In terms of raw, I should know all of these.
All your moves. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like
Nah, that's what happens, bro. We are the only people that celebrate that celebrate other people doing what we do more than we celebrate ourselves.
Then I looked at films like Step Up and even like it takes the b-boy culture, the break dancing and all of that.
Yeah.
But like now, I don't know from the last one I see the cover of, I didn't see no black people in it.
Right. Right. That's what always happens, bro.
I've been saying this for years.
That's what always happens.
The main star.
Yeah.
One or two non-black people.
When the last time?
Then it's just no black people.
When was the last time you saw a black steel band? Steel band. Yeah, go Carnival, fam.
Every now and again.
Yeah.
I want to continue on.
Right.
What's the next thing? So then I'm looking at Eminem's considered the king of hip hop to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he is.
Or the number one lyricist alive. Yeah.
Elvis
Yeah.
Presley, king of rock and roll.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as history goes on.
Yeah. Tim West was the number one hip hop DJ. David Radigan number one reggae DJ.
When we start to look at this era,
That's how they go on.
The people in the future, they might, and rightfully so,
Yeah.
get the impression
Yeah.
that all of these art forms was not a black thing, but
Yeah.
it was whoever who's named as the thing right now.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, actually, if that's the case, imagine we're looking at history right now.
Yeah.
It speaks to this we was Kangs thing happening. Like people might say, right, I'm trying to call everything
Yeah, yeah.
black, is black,
Yeah.
ain't black now.
Yeah.
If we see it in this day and age,
Yeah.
where things that we blame, we know
Yeah.
is originated from black people that's doing their thing, being represented on a mainstream level as non-black people. I'm not going to make it specific to any like non-black person.
Yeah. In general.
It's just if black people create something,
Yeah.
other people come and join in,
Yeah.
we invite people in,
Yeah.
and then it just like mainstream, they become the main focus.
Yeah.
We ain't even considered normal.
And that don't happen in any any other cultural dynamic, and it has to do with our nature, bro. Like we're welcoming, we let people in, but it just so happens that we don't control the business of our cultural products.
It's interesting, like, just building on what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Because
it's like
I love Sawyer. I don't watch Ellen from I saw it on
right. So you watch Ellen, isn't it? Just
Listen, bad man to watch Ellen. Bad man to watch Ellen. Bad man to watch Ellen. You know what I mean, Rasta? Bad man to watch them. Bad man to watch them thing there, you know.
It's like with you know, Japanese martial arts, Chinese martial arts. Everyone knows, well, not everyone knows, but I think we perceive them to be the best at it.
Yeah.
So you got like man like Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Yeah.
or Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
They're kind of like caricatures.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
They
yeah.
don't get that much respect.
Yeah.
in our culture.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that in sort of that culture of the Chinese martial arts,
Right.
Still got.
we all know that these people are trying to do what they're doing.
Right.
But when it comes to, like you said,
Right.
dance, like step up and these things,
Yeah. Nice.
it's
Yeah.
more seen as like, they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're really doing it.
A similar
I'm
example
actually a
is
dancer.
anime. A similar example is anime.
And
Yeah.
And for one, I can say white people can dance and put it on the table.
Yeah.
If they learn.
If they learn.
And clearly, it tends to be more natural in black.
What style dance do you do?
Street dance. Well, you're in a battle.
No, bro. You know what? I tell you what though. It's one of them disciplines here that I feel like I'd have been a levels on if I delved into it and continued it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I delved into it, you know what I mean? But no, I wouldn't try
I
battle.
used to go to them blues party there with my parents.
Yeah, yeah, for Brockout fam. And I was never a trained dancer, but I used to rave a lot. Yeah. So yeah, dancer. Like when it comes to bashment, you don't have to be a dancer. You know what I'm saying? Like professional. You follow. You know man. You know what I'm saying? Man, do what man was. Yeah.
Are you trying to say that dance is like majority perfected by black people, but not perfected, but like something which is greatly practiced by black culture or black people?
No, I wouldn't say that's
And then a specific type of dance. So you're not talking about dancing in general.
No, everyone dances.
Everyone loves it.
But that specific type of dance, other people.
a dance style developed by black people.
Yeah.
No man got like a specific style. Yeah. I've seen some Nigerians dancing with guns.
Oh yeah.
I would say that's human development.
Yeah, certain man try to send them for me still.
So now imagine you saw a bunch of black people doing the same style of dance.
Yeah.
Like you saw one or two black people doing that style of dance, and then adding to it and kind of making it their own, doing it a little bit different.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
Until
Yeah.
that's all you saw, and you didn't see the original Algerian.
Yeah, so you perceive it in that notion. Yeah, is that what you're trying to say, basically?
Well, no, I was building on what he was saying. It's just that it's interesting. I'm just saying it's interesting. I'm not aggrieved or anything. That if a white person does a particular street dance or Afro dance, they blow up like on the internet, like you said about the little white
become a
girls.
sensation, yeah.
But there's bare little black girls,
Bare.
right? Bare doing the same thing, if not better. But they're not going to be highlighted because it's just seen as normal. Or I don't know why actually. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's like that ginger guy on Twitter with the waves. There was this
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know about it. There was this ginger kid, on Twitter, innit? And he had the do-rag, and he took it off, innit? And then, he had waves, innit?
Yeah.
I love seeing, like, it's weird when you see a ginger guy, like, and then it had bare retweets, it had bare views. So I get what you're trying to say.
I know, I get that.
Yeah.
Of course I get that. That's why I said I'm not hating about
So
it.
when people do anything that's not, like, normal, for them it blows up, and when people do something that is the norm for them, it's not really that.
Yeah, it's just interesting though.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because if it was based on dance ability, then there should be more little black girls who are killing the Afro scene right now, who are blowing up, who are getting money, who are getting invited to Ellen and ting and ting.
But then you mentioned like martial arts earlier.
Yeah.
And there's many like black athletes, like UFC fighters who like have blown up as well. Like Alistair Overeem as well. Like he did mixed martial arts. Anderson Silva as well. He was like
They're
UFC
real
champion.
fighters though. I was talking about the cinema. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
real
but I'm talking
fighters.
about like obviously we see Thai and mixed martial arts from like more of the Asian sort of, and then what these people have done, they've adopted it and then they've used it and they've profited from the skills and they've blown up from it as well.
Yeah.
Can you not say that's quite similar as well? Like,
The difference,
like-
no, it's not the
I
same.
was talking about actors specifically, but
is it not, I don't know.
It's not the same, it's not the
I
same.
might be
Coming
chatting,
from-
I might be chatting.
Yeah,
No,
Exactly
it's not the
what
same.
I'm saying.
It's not the same. The reason why it's not the same is because, well, obviously we were speaking about this before, yeah, in terms of the role that Kung Fu played in affirming and popularizing Chinese culture, and it's still identified. Like no matter who's doing Kung Fu, it's still respected as an art form from China, and if you want to learn it, the masters are in China. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody can't come around here, and there's no black man that's like the number one martial artist Chinese. What's it called? Abbott, like in the world, like you know what I'm saying? Like there's no.
Rush Hour.
No, Jackie Chan, you get me? He's the guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. It doesn't happen like that. So we don't. There's no dynamic whereby black people go into somebody else's culture, and we reap the most rewards off of that culture. That dynamic doesn't exist.
As far as I know, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know of it. Like, imagine, I would give the example. Imagine like the number one Bhangra artist in the world was from Jamaica. Like,
Could happen, but
can you imagine it though? Like,
No, I wasn't saying
I
like
can
they
actually.
reap the rewards.
I
I'm
can
just
actually.
saying they take that.
I know that's not what you're saying.
And then they become very skilled at it.
Yeah, and they make it alphabet. I'm just explaining why it's not the same thing. It's not the same because the dynamic doesn't exist whereby we reap the most as a group of people, or even as individuals, make the most off of another group of people's creative or cultural products. I've just not seen it. You get me? I've just not seen it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know the dynamic. So
I think, yeah.
Unless you say something like, if this is in line with what you're saying, basketball.
again, no, because we don't own none of the teams.
No, but I mean the individual players.
Yeah. So we dominate
They
on
got
the
bare
pitch,
money.
but I'm saying basketball is an industry. Yeah, we dominate on the pitch. So I'm not. There are disciplines in which we excel.
Came from nowhere.
I'm not even gonna go into that conversation.
Even football is
I'm not gonna go into that.
many black people who are professional.
No, yeah, we run things. Let's not get twisted. Like when it comes to certain things, yeah. When we master a thing, we master a thing. But I don't know of anything that we master.
Dominate sport at the moment for sure. Black people are.
Of course,
When it comes to
it's African genes. You know what I mean? It's African genes. You get me? However,
certain people are good at certain things, I guess, in certain things. You know, they say Chinese people are more intelligent or Chinese people are more successful when it comes to
More intelligent.
no, not more intelligent, but like they're in terms
You're
of
more successful. I can do that.
yeah, more successful. Yeah,
I hear you.
there's always the stereotypes. You know?
When they run ping pong.
Yeah, good at maths.
They run ping pong.
Like they're very geeky or very nerdy. Or,
I know flying kick you, bro.
You got the nerds.
trust me. Shaka. Yes, sir. I don't know if I have a problem if you say that to me, you know. All right, yeah, I study in that, but yeah, yeah. All right, go on anyway.
Alright, talk to someone else then.
No, joking. Yeah.
As far as you know,
Yeah.
martial arts came from us.
I am aware of ancient African martial arts. I'm going to say that. I'm not one of these people that try to claim that we created everything known to human creation. Yeah,
No, that's
yeah,
why.
like,
No, that's why. I
yeah,
specifically
yeah, yeah, no,
saying anything else.
no, yeah, I know, yeah, no, definitely there was martial art in Africa, long before our contact with anybody else.
To be honest with
Yeah,
you, I was quite surprised. What I was told, it was India that brought it
to China.
to China.
Yeah, and the Chinese perfected it.
Yes, but
Yeah.
actually we started it.
So that's part. There is some evidence for that, as far as I'm aware, in the sense of
On the Egyptians,
yeah. So in ancient Kemet, you
I don't have a
yeah.
problem with the Chinese perfecting it.
Yeah. Yeah, long time.
Even yoga.
Yeah, so yeah, that too. No, I'm a yoga instructor.
I was actually quite surprised about that one.
Yeah. So, but I learned it from through a Kemetic school, innit? So that's how I came into it. There is a debate around the extent to which Kemet had yoga, as we currently understand it, as we currently understand yoga. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, yoga. When people hear yoga,
They think the stretches.
but the practices, the
Yeah.
asanas.
Yeah.
Yoga actually means unity. It
Yeah.
means oneness.
Yeah.
And we've
Yeah.
already covered that in Africa.
Right.
The
You know what I'm
concept
saying?
of oneness of
Or to
unity.
yoke. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So there's a debate around it. Yeah. So in terms of the extent to which Kemet had the practice of the asanas. Yeah. In that respect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not really. Like it don't have to have had it. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to understand the benefit of it
But it's like
as a system of, you know.
if you look at it on like just a basic level, like of course, man in Africa we're stretching.
Yeah.
It's stretching at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Asanas. Of course,
Yeah.
there's
There's
approach,
right. You know what I'm saying?
connection,
And the breath and you know what I'm
mind,
saying?
body, soul,
Yeah.
obviously. But in terms of the actual you
physicality
you
of
can't own a shape.
Yeah.
Every single shape has been done. Like you did them, most of them when you was a baby, like all these different shapes, right? So they're just shapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So of course someone in Africa was doing this at some point. I got a space for doing this at some point, of course. Like I said, even just as a kid, just messing about.
Yeah.
You know, a kid you might have been just saying, hey, look, I can stand on one leg. You know what I mean?
But this is the thing, because I think all cultures will learn things from other cultures.
Yeah.
And find an expression for them within their own culture.
Yeah.
That's natural. I think that's a normal cultural exchange is normal.
Yeah.
The only problem is when you try to become the people whose culture you're borrowing from to the detriment of your own culture. All people they borrow and they affirm and they develop their own culture based upon whatever new knowledge they're getting.
Yeah.
But when we're dealing with a colonial experience, the colonizer develops their own culture by subjugating your culture, and if you develop that mentality, you develop the colonized culture while subjugating your own culture.
Yeah.
That's the problem that we have. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, you talk about self-hate.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know? So you know what I mean? So I say that to say, let's say we learn yoga from the people that are in India. You know what I'm saying? Like we can adopt it and allow our own culture to inform it, our practice of it, in that kind of sense. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. So like when I teach yoga, like words like ashe are used. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm an African, and that's just how I teach. You know what I'm saying? I bring that understanding to the practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what
So
I'm
my-
saying?
so my question
I do
is-
feel
yeah,
like
sorry.
there is a more openness
Yeah.
in terms of other culture. People wanting to learn, basically non-black people wanting to learn more about non-white. So I do feel that there's a lot of white spiritual people, right?
Yeah.
Can't be denied.
Yeah.
I do think, so I'm very much in the community. I do believe a lot of them would love to actually learn an actual African spiritual system without like what do you call it?
Appropriating.
Appropriating.
And some of them are, but some of those that are actually appropriate. so yeah, it happens because you find people that are initiated into different systems nowadays, and you know if you search up the thing, they're the number one guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it be happening like that. So
It happens.
So
But
yeah.
that's how the world is at the moment.
Yeah. You know what I'm
There's no
saying?
point, like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
point
yeah.
crying over that.
Yeah, you
I'm
know.
not saying you are.
You know. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. It's good to have a conversation that's not a debate still. Yeah, you know what I
I
mean?
only have conversations, bro.
No.
I don't debate
No, and
no one.
even if we were disagreeing,
What's the point?
but I'm saying, yeah, but I just mean what I mean is like, you know, the nature of the conversation.
energy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And the subject and the build has I think been a unique one for this space, innit? So man, I give thanks for that still, you know. Man is just affirming that, you know what I'm saying? You get me? Yeah, man.
Well, like I said earlier, like we need to listen.
Yeah.
Because you might learn.
It's the only way you can learn to listen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of from someone else's perspective. How can I tell you about your perspective? Like, tell me.
Yeah.
That's why I came to him, like humbly asking. I know for a fact he knows more about Africa than me.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So, hey, tell me about the culture system.
Give thanks. Yeah, but man, we're all learning, innit? You know what I'm saying? And there's, like, the more I learn, obviously we all know, the more you learn, the more there is to learn. You know what I'm saying? And you know, where I am at the moment, because I have a broad understanding, and I'm trying to develop my specificity. My specific knowledge in different systems, innit? And then so being able to more scientifically understand how they relate to each other in different ways, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at the moment. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
So what are you going for specifically at the moment?
There's different things. So I'm learning a few. Like I'm studying a lot of IFA, you know what I'm saying? In different ways, which I'm not going to go into necessarily. But yeah, and just general studying, so like, and voodoo as well. So those two, you know what I'm saying. And then what I will say is one of my missions is to learn the Medjugorje, which is the ancient language of Kemet.
So is there a particular country or tribe that
Ifa is Yoruba, right?
So I'd say it's mostly associated with the Fun people who are in today Benin. Yeah, but the Fun people, like, they're part of a larger group of people, which would include the Ewe. You know what I'm saying? So the Ewe system and the Fun system are related. That they're very close to each other. And there's a few other groups that they're not coming to me at the moment. But yeah, Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, Togo. Yeah, there's people in Togo that have a similar system. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I had a debate about this very subject recently.
What's this? Sorry?
Crystals are stones, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. I know of. It's something that I need to do more research on. To be honest with you, I know of. There all kinds of. There are many things that are used in nature, in African spiritual systems. Yeah, herbs mostly. I don't know of too many that use crystals. That's not to say that they don't, though. That's what I'm saying. Crystals, yeah.
Yo, I thought you said Christians too.
No, but from my understanding, most people that are using crystals nowadays are coming from a new age perspective.
No, I totally concur.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're not coming from an African spiritual perspective, they're coming from a new age perspective. And so sometimes they might right, you know what I'm saying? And they might merge some of their African spiritual understanding with some of their new age understanding. But it's not coming from when you say it's been blown out of proportion, what do you mean? Like the extent of which crystals work?
The sort of importance of crystals.
Right.
Like
I'd agree with you.
I used to be on the
whole crystal thing. Yeah.
Apart from the African,
Yeah.
And there's so much importance given to crystals. Like literally, this particular
crystal,
one
will cure you all of your.
Will balance my energy.
Yes.
Will help me go to a past life.
Yes.
But sometimes it didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, you didn't pull it in the mud.
You need to charge it. You need to charge the crystal. You need to charge it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Spirituality is like that, though. You got some things that are for some people and some things are not for some people.
I do hear that.
Yeah, that's true.
I do hear that.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that there's so much importance given to the actual object. When I'm
Right.
suggesting to you, the power is not in the object. We use objects as
Right.
a way to understand reality.
Right,
But the
right,
power is
right.
not in the object itself. That's why when I started having these understandings, I used to just wear stones. I probably look like
Right.
yeah, just to make the point
Right.
that the power is not in the object.
Right.
It's not in me, but the power is just power. It's just power.
Right.
And it can manifest as a stone,
Right.
as a crystal,
Right.
as a bead,
Right.
as a cap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But Everyone has a journey. Don't get me wrong. I'm not cussing anyone for using crystals.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, at some point you come to see that the truth that you're looking for is actually independent of the crystal. The crystal is a way to help balance the mind. It's like meditation.
Yeah.
That you might want to focus on the breath.
Yeah.
You don't have to,
Yeah.
but it helps to center the mind and focus on one thing.
Yeah.
So crystals can be used in this way. I'm just saying, it's been blown up out of proportion in the sense of, I don't think there's been much talking about how these are permission slips.
Right.
Permission slips for you to sort of melt yourself into the idea that there could be something other than the physical. A permission slip. In the rawest sense, a permission slip. Like you're giving yourself a permission to believe in something other than your.
So you're saying that people are giving their power to the crystals?
Yeah.
When people talk about charging crystals, that's often
They're literally
that's literally what they mean.
Yeah, that I can't function well unless I've charged my crystal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? People literally believe that. Again, I'm not cussing, but I'm saying that's what you understand what I'm saying? Yes. And I used to be like that.
And the thing is, cause I've not studied the crystal thing extensively. I've studied it cursively, but like when it makes sense that there are stones from the earth that have particular properties, like the earth has nutrients. You know what I'm saying? So that may have a different impact upon our body, and we've seen these experiments where they you know, they speak to water and it takes on a particular molecular configuration because of the you know what is said to it and then kind of things. So I get all of that, but I do agree with you in the sense of the fact that we put it on the crystal rather than our consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Or we feel like the healing ability of the crystal is something mystical beyond just nature in and of itself. Like if I take herbs, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, isn't it? It's a healing power. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like to sort of touch on the psychedelics for a second.
Easy.
Yeah, I know,
Easy.
Right?
Where the ganja there? Where the ganja?
Like, of course.
So do I.
Nice.
What's your name, bro?
Toby.
Yeah. Is that Toby or Toby?
Toby.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. yeah.
What's the long one?
Toby after Kunta Kinte?
No. It's not that Toby. It's Oluwa Toby Loba.
And it means?
God is great as a king.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Oluwa Toby Logba.
Yeah.
See? Them beautiful Yoruba names. Give thanks, brother. Good to
Cool,
meet you.
man.
Yeah?
Alright,
Good to meet you.
nice one,
Let's up.
Ashe. What was I saying? I can't remember.
What was he saying? It was on crystals.
Psychedelics. Yeah, it's like you can call it a belief, but I'm saying I know it. But to say it's a belief of mine, right?
Yeah.
That the altered states.
Yes.
Again, I'm going to use the word permission slip as well. Again.
Right.
We're using this plant as a permission slip to travel psychically to this other place.
Yes.
But actually, you can do it without
that. Yes.
And I have done without.
Right,
So it's like, for me, it's actual truth.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by permission slip. And it's fine because our mind has these beliefs that reality is just what we see. That there isn't another, in quotes, dimension, or another way of perceiving in general. So that's what I mean by permission slip. So same with psychedelics, crystals, stones, even beads. Like now I just wear it because I like it. But before I used to do the whole chanting and count every. Now I just wear it because I like it.
Yeah, no, I think when you're involved in ritual will evolve with your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'd say if you're performing the same ritual for the same results over an extended period of time, it probably is a sign that you're not growing. Just what I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? It's probably
if your perception is the same.
The same, yeah. So not to say you could do the same ritual, but I'm saying like if you did it for the same thing, you know what I'm saying? It's probably a sign that not necessarily, but it's probably a sign that you're not, you know what I'm saying?
There's definitely truth in that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Otherwise, going back to the counting beats, I would still be doing that.
Yeah.
Believing that it's going to give me something.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah, man. Well, yeah, man, I'm going to run out to my family as well still.
Yo, man, it's cold anyway.
Yeah, I know, man. My foot them are me right now.
I got thermos today still.
Yes, family.
Yeah, man, that was good, man.
Thanks for the question and the conversation. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Opened a good conversation.
Yeah, man, that was good, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let's up.
I share.
I share.
Save people.
Yeah, go.
Come take over everything. From your
God, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
It's the same thing we are also going through in South Africa. The white people who have built South Africa. Look, Robert Mugabe. Yeah, he was what? The leader of what?
How the white people built
of what?
Tell us.
Zimbabwe. Instead of him to allow his people to tap into the what's called the ability of the whites, Zimbabweans, he drove them away. The moment they left, what is happening now? What is happening? It's the same way.
Tell us what happened.
The
What
British
happened when they
also